Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and it's always joined by Baker. Evening, mate. How you feeling?
Yeah, I know it's been bad. It's been bad.
Well, yeah, I feel like this is like last week was my week. This week's your week.
There's no just the tip this week, mate. This
No,
it's
no,
full, it's full on divorce, kicked out on the curb, over.
yeah, yeah.
God,
Consent revoked.
that's been a tough week. When the game refreshed, I thought to myself, because Marmoush was the highest person effective owned against me, and obviously he was on the bench, so I was like, right. They're not huge numbers, but Bowen, Wood, Rodgers, Eze, and Villa defence. That's what I really need. And Forest defence. And the only one that didn't haul was Forest defence.
Was Forest defence, yeah.
But all the others did. Anybody who I didn't own. And then the weird random defenders and stuff that lots of people got. I mean, you could have had a few of those
Oh,
this week.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we discussed that, and still didn't, because it was kind of a coin flip between any one of the three of them, and I just went with them. I just had completely the wrong one. But that's, I think when when obviously Sharda gets 11 points and I don't bring him in, and I think I was just like, well, just done, whatever, who cares? And then the rest of the game week for me was nice. Like
You've had a great week. You've got the green lights on. I've got the Palace lights on.
The cracking Sunday for me. I mean, if for anyone who uses FPL optimized, to see a spike like that, I mean, it hasn't happened in quite a while. So, and it's difficult because normally I'm quite bullish about celebrating those kind of things, but obviously I knew how much that had sucked for you, because I literally had. If it went well for me, it was always going to go badly for you.
Yeah, a little bit. To be fair though, Bowen was okay. I was like, oh yeah, it was only really Bowen, wasn't it? That was was gonna hurt me, wasn't it? Like your
Yeah, I
guys.
suppose.
Yeah, the other guys. It was Villa. That Villa game was the killer, and I kind of knew it when Jefferson missed that chance at the end. I was like, that's it.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen it at the time, and
That's
then
it.
obviously it crops up first on Match of the Day, and I'm like, oh my god! And it's not. I mean, it is. It's unbelievable. It's a great save, and then it's unbelievable defending by Matt Cash.
He just
But
didn't want it. Jefferson just didn't want it. Like
well,
he
no,
waited for it, didn't he? He just sort of stood. Cash
but
dives in, and he's like,
you want a striker that doesn't play many games. You've got Jefferson who doesn't get involved, and then you've got the complete opposite of Raul Jimenez who plays every game, and his header was just like, I'm having that. That's mine.
I'm having that. Yeah, exactly.
So complete
Yeah,
opposite mentality.
we've talked a lot about motivation, and you've seen it on the pitch, but there was, my God, like this weekend. I think when it gets close to the end of the season, you notice the small moments so much more than you notice them in other games. Like obviously you had Haaland cap, and he had so many nearly moments in that game, but he didn't
Yeah,
get them.
yeah, but at the same time, it was a very. I'd almost forgotten what a typical Haaland performance looked like, as I was just
Yeah,
like running through SofaScore watching the game, and I was going, well, he's had like 3 touches so far, no shots. I mean, the no shots thing is unusual, but the 3, 4, 5 touches, 6 touches, 12 touches, I was like, well, this is pretty normal, actually, isn't it? I forgot how
he
painful that is unless he shoots.
him and De Bruyne had nearly moments time and time again, and nearly pens as well, like time and time again. Obviously, Bumo could have had, probably should have had 2 pens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is in that game, and that makes a big old difference because if they go 2-0 up, you're much happier owning Wissa once it's 2-0 because you
yeah,
know that then like Ipswich are on the rack and he's going to play 90 minutes. And all of it changes. You saw the today in Munoz to Sarr goal early on
yeah,
would have been a huge change to the game week, but that doesn't happen. Um, there's plenty of them. That Jefferson thing's a big one, and the ones against me. Yeah, so many little moments happen, but it's kind of why the game's fun, because if you do get those little moments, you're like, that's amazing. Yeah, like even if you think about people that played Dan Burn today, So Eddie Howe changed formation 3 times in one game. If you owned Livramento, like he would have been there for 75 minutes to do the tap to Bruno Guimaraes, but because they've changed formation 3 times, it's actually Dan Burn that ends up over there to just do the little tap to Bruno.
Yeah.
Like there is so many different things that you don't have a huge amount of control of. That's why you should celebrate it massively when you get lucky. And when you get unlucky, you just have to go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of knew it though. Like as I say, it's when you've got luck, when you've basically guessed heads many times, and you've got heads many times, you will occasionally get a tails. And this, unfortunately, was it. I was just hoping I could get 3 more heads.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just the timing as well, isn't it? It's like, right.
Just miss.
It's funny you talk about that heads and tails. Like I'm thinking about, the charity day we did the other week, and you think like you get through like 3 or 4 of those, and you think, oh, I'm close, and then if you don't win the final flip, you might as well lose the first one.
Yeah, and that's a little bit how it feels. So it does definitely hurts more when it's like 15 points against the field. You're like.
So Bryce in chat has made a good point. We should have the teams on the screen while we're discussing this. So let's continue that discussion while we.
He does want to see our big faces.
Our big bright red faces from playing golf today.
Yeah.
So my team here, my bench is unbelievably good. So I've got Rodgers, Burn, and Estupiñán on the bench. Obviously, I was contemplating Burn and Estupiñán over Saliba. Couldn't pick one, so just went with Saliba. Not as you said, like you sell Salah, I sell Salah, and suddenly double Arsenal defense looks great. So I did it. Pretty standard. Lost that battle, but the decision between Sarr and Rodgers, again, I mean, in this case, is like it's a draw, so whatever, who cares? But I had Raya in goal, Vardiol, Munoz, and Saliba at the back. I've got Sarr, Elanga, who I brought in, Bumo and Bowen. Haaland, who I brought in, capped him. Didn't get anything from there. Wissa, 1 point. Cheers, Johan. But Ollie Watkins for 9 points. So I managed to turn a -8 into a green arrow, which is pretty good. I'll take that. And I've already said it on socials on X today. I mean, weirdly, my best transfer this week looks like a keeper one. Like, as stupid as that sounds, because I don't really have anything else to do outfield. So yeah, I'm kind of there at the moment. Yeah, just chilling. I was pretty much, as I said to you yesterday, I said it in the chat with yourself and Hibbo, I was like, season over, whatever, who cares, I'm done. Didn't know what I was going to do, and then a little spike today rekindled my interest a little bit. So we'll make some decisions for the last couple of weeks. Keep a transfer, maybe. We'll see what happens.
I love the chats that we still have with people that guest. So for those that don't know, that when people guest, we normally just set up a little WhatsApp group, and then there are some that carry on for ages. But you and Hippo love a moan, so we keep that chat going. So yeah, you know when that chat's going on, it's us moaning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can we talk about the fact that you told everyone not to buy Forest assets, which partially was a good thing because people were looking at Forest defenders, and turns out Matt Sells, the person who operated on a negative XG for the whole of last season, is turning back into that man again. But you bought Elanga.
I was hoping this wasn't going to be brought up, but clearly, yeah. Well, no, I came clean on Saturday when I made my changes. I looked at Kluivert. Obviously, Kluivert was like the one we were talking about on Friday.
Yeah.
And then, I realised that I'm not the guy that plans for 38 in game week 36. That's not me, right? I look more closely in front of me. And so Ilanga's fixtures for the next two, having Leicester and West Ham, were just much better than Kluivert's, which was basically Villa and then probably bench him. And then I'd have Kluivert in 38, obviously. But if I get Elanga now, then I can choose what to do with Elanga in 38 if I need him. Or I can move him on. So I just felt like the immediate future would look better with Elanga in there. There was, so you said on the Saturday as well, you were like, what about Sharda? And I almost discounted that just because of the triple up, and I didn't necessarily think that was a bad thing, but I also felt like Elanga could go a lot harder.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, he got the minutes that I needed him to this week, even though almost immediately after clicking confirm, I kind of regretted my decision because I went and checked FB Ref straight afterwards and saw that he'd had about 120 minutes in the last 3 games combined, which wasn't ideal for my for my mindset at that point. But you know, I say we got the minutes that we wanted, and maybe we didn't get. He got a couple of bonus. So you know, if he was,
did get the bonus.
You know, he was on and around, in and around it, and yeah, probably should have had more. But you know, I said Callum Hudson-Odoi out. There's just less.
You take that week, mate.
Yeah,
you take that week.
Yeah, definitely, and we take it over Salah's 2-pointer.
And it could have been. I mean, if only we just didn't play Arsenal. If we both didn't play Arsenal, our weeks. Oh no, I suppose you'd have had to play Raya because you've got to take it.
Yeah, I'd have to play Raya.
Choice in the matter. It's good. And Watkins there, in place, ready to go. Team's good.
Team's good. Rank's crap. Team's good.
I didn't have a good week. Yeah, Munoz and Vardiol, fine. But Vardiol back to left back, so therefore he doesn't get any bonus again. That's the downside, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Bradley, brilliant, gets 1 point. At least he got 1 point because he went off before the second goal went in.
Yeah, that's true.
Small iron-ins. Take the little small wins. I
did notice that. I did notice he'd gone off before that second goal went in, because I saw it on SofaScore that he'd been taken off. But then I scrolled down slightly and then saw the yellow card. I was like, oh, well, that's a bit of a pain.
Yeah. The problem, I guess, in this one is you know, the big owned guys, which don't make a big difference, but hey, they make a big difference to those that don't own them. Is De Bruyne and Isak both, you know, clearly could have had more points in the game, but Wissa, Mateta, and Sarr, these were really good matchups. Sarr and Mateta in particular had ridiculous opportunities in that first half to have got a crap load of points and did not. And you just couldn't afford to miss this week because so many of the team players that I didn't have hit. So you end up with 47 points. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's probably, should I have a look? How far off is it from top 10k? Because it's
I know what it is, mate.
19 points.
19. It's far.
It's too far.
I don't say too far, but it's far. I mean, you need to literally just decide you're going for it and then just do something stupid, right?
What you're trying to do, though, is you're trying to get 19 points against players that are either absolutely brilliant at this game or literally on the hottest streak of their entire life.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like you're hoping to literally have lightning in the bottle, basically. Type things is it needs just everything to go your way.
You literally you literally need to like sell Salah and Isak to McNeil and Vardy, and for Isak and Salah to blank, and then McNeil and Vardy to score a brace each, and you've capped one of them. That's the kind of stupid crap that you need to happen, which is obviously not going to happen. But that's, I mean, like, what's your feeling now though? Because I mean, are you gonna? I mean, maybe you'll think about it more during the week, but do you feel like you're going to try and push for it, or do you think that you'll probably just chill out?
I don't play this game like it ends and starts. I don't think I've ever played it that way, because I don't feel like I learn if I fuck about. I feel like if you always fuck about, you always then get into the next season of going, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, it's like my problem with Ange at the moment is like, I'm like, how do you just turn up on game week 1 next season? You know what you're doing. Like, I always feel like it is I want to sort of learn from this one. So will I need to be aggressive? Yes, but isn't that always the way of what you want to try and do and play? Is what you want to do is find how do I get the most points out of this team? The most points out going into this game week, the most points out of this team was sell Mateta, buy Watkins, cap Watkins. I don't see that's changed.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But it was the most points before, it's the most points now. So
Yeah, no, fair enough.
still keep chasing the most points. I think that's pretty much how I suspect I'll play. Um, I think there's a load of fun options in 38. So I might have to think a bit differently in 38. Like my plan was always probably like cap Saka at Southampton. Well, I might have to cap Trossard.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He might have to be cap. So cap Watkins, cap Trossard. If either of those spike, you probably that's probably a huge amount. What you need is you need everybody else around it to not fuck up.
Yeah.
I've probably
Yeah,
got a gamble on Arsenal defence for the next 2 weeks.
But people are also going. I mean, people are going to be not following you specifically, but people are going to be following you in those moves, right? So Watkins, 10% owned this week, maybe less than that. Probably 5 to 10%, I think, owned this week in the top 10k. Like that'll be 60. Probably.
Yes.
So
as long as it's not 150,
yeah,
it's fantastic to cap
it's
him,
great.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
If I can get more than 90% of Watkins' points this week, I've got a chance.
Okay. Yeah, true. And then he has to smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to brace. Yeah. It needs to brace minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. So Matt said Trossard went off injured today. Yeah. I think it's more the thought of that kind of player rather than specifically.
Yeah. I've got to look at what's the matchup I like, and is there a different one where I think maybe I could get that.
Is it Evan Nilsson? But if it's not Evan Nilsson or Cliver, is it Tav, for example, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Tough that, isn't it?
So yeah. So there are our weeks challenging for both of us, really. I mean, I know I came out with a green in the end, which is great, but staring down the barrel with a -8 and stuff's not starting fantastically. Like literally, the first 3 games went about as average as you could get, and everything was getting kind of worse. And then every game after that, if you look at FPL optimized, every game after that, I rose against my expectations. So yeah, so my game week got better as it went along. But yeah. I don't know what else to say.
James,
let's talk about the leagues because, again, business ends, so we should be looking at these. Game week's finished, so it's always a good opportunity to have a look at the leagues. We did show these on Friday, so not loads has changed. Nothing's changed at the top of either, but a few movements around the top 10. So Biarca's still top of our public league, so shout out to Biarca, 2,592 points. I didn't actually even look to see if that is a green arrow for yourself, man. But I will check that if you give me just 5 seconds while I try and fill the time as I'm pressing the buttons. That is updating, apparently. Okay, we'll check that in a minute. In second place, Callum Bagnall and Nick Bagnall. The Bagnall boys getting up from 4th and 5th, I think they were, weren't they?
Bagnall boys.
2,586 and 2,584 respectively. Nick playing his bench boost. Steve Bunn and Chris Costa dropping from 2nd and 3rd down into 4th and 5th. 2,574 points and 2,567. Shout out to the rest of the top 10. A few new people in there. And as I say, as always, they're on the screen. So come over to YouTube if you want to see your name, and we'll move on to Patreon. So Patreon and Discord League. Craig Buckingham still up there, 2,542 points. Timu up to 2nd, playing as assistant manager, 2,524 points. Philippe, David Thorne, and Dan Barnes making up the rest of the top 5, 2,523, 2,516, 2,508 points respectively. Well done to everyone else in the top 10. And in terms of Patreon, let's do Patreon first. So the best thing you can do for us on this video basically is to hit the like button. And if you want to see more from us, hit the subscribe button. That's fantastic. We would love you to do that. Come and join us. If you want to join us over on Patreon, you can do absolutely free. Baker has been putting out wonderful free content. All you have to do is pop your email address in there and you'll get an email when Baker pops out that content. But if you want to come and join us over on Discord, we do have the paid Patreon, which is now 50% off until the end of the season with the code END. And there'll be no charge in June as well. We'll be pausing memberships in June. So if you want to get in for 50% off at any tier to the end of the season, you can do so with the code END at patreon.com/above average FPL. One of the fantastic benefits of joining this month is beat Baker.
I'm sorry. I'm doing absolutely terribly.
So So at the moment, Baker's currently 57th in the month with 103 points this month. If you have more than 103 points, excuse me, if you have more than 103 points and you live in the UK and you want a chance of winning a bottle of wonderful Never Say Die bourbon whiskey, which I can tell you from experience is very, very nice, even though I can't drink it anymore. NeverSayDieBourbon.com. Shout out to these guys for supporting us this season. But if you have more than 103 points and you think you're going to have a fantastic couple of weeks, like if you've got a chip to play, Jesus, get involved and come and join us over at patreon.com/above average FPL, and we can show you the league code, obviously, to get in here. So, yeah. And after Baker complaining about putting like 25 names into a wheel, I really want to see him put 50 in there. See how long that's going to take.
We could do it straight at the end of the game week 38 stream.
We could do it. We could do it straight at the end of the game week 38 screen as well. Brian shouting, Brian saying lots of good games on Discord. I mean, like last man standing, and we might do something for game week 38 if we do like a separate game for game week 38, something like that. But last man standing is obviously coming to an end. We've got 3 people left because a bunch of people picked Forest and a bunch of people picked City this week, who both drew to relegated sides. So unlucky to them. And in Blackjack, I think we're going to be down to 2, which is pretty cool. So Rare Challenge is still going on. I haven't updated the games from today, so I'll do that. But yeah, there's always stuff going on Discord. It's fun. It's fun. Good chat as well, and we'll try and keep the vibes high through the summer. We can be talking about films and golf and whatever else you want to talk about. Just tell us, let us know. What's the mini league code, says Abu. So in terms of the league itself, so the public league is now closed. It gets closed at the end of game week 19, so that we, as I said on the other day, we don't get people joining us at this point in the season when they're already like second in the world, so they just go straight to the top of all of our mini leagues. And the Patreon Discord league is obviously in behind Patreon Discord, so you need to be there to get it, and you can if you join up, you can do so. But the main thing, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Bjarka's in the chat. Man's at the top of the league. You know, do what he says, basically. Where do you want to start?
So I think what we now 20 odd minutes in, or so.
23.
Like
Yeah.
no one wants us to spend an hour and a half when they've only got really 2 decisions to make for the rest of the season. Possibly more if you've got some spare transfers or you want to do some hits and all that stuff. So we should probably just look and go, right, what do we do for this? And go. So I guess starting place is probably Man City.
We can do that.
So you've got Haaland now.
I have Haaland.
What are your thoughts on what you do with him? Because obviously we've got Friday deadline. We've got Saturday FA Cup, and then Tuesday's their game.
Yeah, I think you got to start him.
You have to start him.
I think you just
100% start him.
I think you just start him, and then see what happens. Make sure just for a good first bench, basically, just in case there's any issues. I mean, there's a lot of chances here. This is a very like Arsenal graph, isn't it? Like you remember the old Arsenal graphs where they just sort of tapped it around and then created a few small chances and bits just didn't quite go for them and they tried to pass it in the net and all sorts of stuff happened, but at the same time nothing really happened. So it's quite easy, I guess, to rack up a couple of XG against Southampton if you just keep shooting from all sorts of different places. And when you have as much ball as they did, it's weird as well. The way they approached the game was so weird. Like they just didn't look like they were really bothered about shooting. Or even not shooting. There's lots of shots, but not really bothered about creating decent enough chances to score. I really felt like they just weren't bothered.
Yeah, well, I think there wasn't a lot of pace in the team. I think that's why Doku had to come on at half time. I think that makes a big difference in terms of having an outlet pace. So when the team comes out and you've got Foden, McAtee, and KDB around Haaland, like that's not a lot of legs, is it?
Yeah,
not a lot of dynamism, effectively. In terms of what you're seeing is yeah, I don't think that helped. I think it was a slow build. You've also lost Nico Riley from this team, so you've basically gone. I've got no wingers, and my big outlet in Nico Riley wasn't playing left back. Like as soon as he came in, he almost scored, obviously from Haaland near
Yeah,
the
straight
end,
away.
and so yeah, I think Pep stuffed it up, I would say. And I guess what he also didn't expect was the motivation of Southampton. Like they worked for every single ball. I hadn't really given consideration to the fact that they needed 1 point to have more points than Derby in that like worst ever season. But the fans knew. They cheered everything.
Oh, mate, the noise at the end of the game was incredible.
Noise. It was fantastic. Fantastic. But they kept every single chance. So the Akanji had the best chance. Savino, had the best chance of the game at 0.25 actually, and then it's 0.2, and then it just goes down.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like you say, they didn't really fashion it. Like they were always there and thereabouts. Haaland, obviously, Haaland has 0.05 xg in this, so it looks like, oh my god, that was a mistake. But I don't know. He looked quite predatory to me. He looked like he was in sort of the right places a lot of the time. Foden looks just miles off it, doesn't he? Like Foden looks nothing like the player we saw last year. Marmoush looked hungry at least when he came on. So what does that mean?
Yeah, the
But
post, didn't
because
he, or something? I think.
yeah, I think you can't buy. I think that's for sure. If you are chasing, so if I was looking chasing, and you already had Watkins in place, or you had two transfers, like De Bruyne to Saka now, or De Bruyne to Palmer is definitely a way in which you could chase. It's definitely a way in which you can chase. Like you can go big. You could even do -4, couldn't you? And do Palmer and Watkins, have them both play on the Friday night. Go bigger, go big straight out the gate. But I think what we're going to need, as much as we won't get City news for Tuesday, we'll be really interested to hear what Pep says in the press conference for Saturday, which is the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Because you just wonder what they do. But I guess league-wise, I haven't really looked at the league today.
League. So if they win and Newcastle win, then they've both got second and third in their own hands. So it's out of Arsenal's hands whether they finish. Yeah. So if they both win on the final day as well, then Arsenal will finish fourth. So I think it's still important.
Still important. It's still important. You know, is Man City on 65 points, only 2 points above Chelsea and Villa. And Chelsea and Villa both have. Like Chelsea, the good thing for Man City, obviously playing on the Tuesday, is that everybody would have played.
Yeah.
And we are expecting that Chelsea and Villa win those games. So I'm expecting that Man City go into the game on Tuesday in 6th place. I think they've just got to roll them out. I think they've just got to roll them out. In fact, if Chelsea, Man and Villa win their games, they kind of have to win both, don't they?
Yeah.
Like even if they beat Bournemouth, they could still finish 6th on the final day in the away game against Fulham.
Yeah. So they do have to do it. And also, is this not now where we're talking about like KDB's final game as well at home?
KDB's final home game is on the Tuesday.
So there's a little bit extra in it as well, like for the fans in particular as well. So there is a little bit extra there to consider, I think.
Yeah, there is. There is.
So I think obviously if you've already got, that would make moving off of Kev a little bit more difficult for me if I had him.
Definitely. It might even make moving off him in the final game a little bit more difficult than I thought it would. I think a lot of people that have got KDB are just earmarked that they're going to move him to Saka on game week 38. But if KDB starts, maybe you have to find a different way. So all good, I think, if you've got them.
Yep.
We're not doing it Southampton.
I was going to say, but what does this mean? So again, we're looking at.
Do you target
Punty.
them?
Yeah, we still target. Can we target them completely now? That have they officially stepped onto the beach? Now they've got their 12 points, because Everton did all right. They did okay.
They did all right in score.
Yeah, but
they should have been. They should have been dead and buried probably by half time to an extent.
Do you know why that was?
Why?
This guy.
This guy rescues it.
Well, he rescues it. He rescues it, but he's also the guy that Jimenez gets above, and he's also the guy that gives away the one of the other two big chances here,
and almost gives away a penalty.
Say again.
And almost gives away a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I had no choice. I've said already. My hands are clean from this thumbnail decision. But I thought I'd lean into it with.
Mate, we've got a Ukrainian thumbnail designer. Mykolenko scores. Everyone knows you hate Mykolenko. You knew what was coming.
It was coming.
As soon as that goal notification went in, you knew what was coming.
It was inevitable. It was inevitable. I'm here for the vibes.
But Everton have put 3 past Fulham away at Fulham.
Yeah, and people have talked up Fulham massively. That's probably wrong. People have talked back to people who have been disrespecting Fulham, I think is more accurate. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at sort of targeting Fulham and things like that, whether like Villa last week with the 1-0 and, people saying this week putting in like Pickford and whatever and Everton defenders, and you can't disrespect Fulham like this. And, they get beaten by Villa and then they get beaten by Everton. Like, okay, well, what are we doing here? Are they targetable or not? I don't know, but
don't know.
They should have done. They should have been much further ahead before Everton had a chance to get involved. Mykolenko scores the big deflected goal. Michael Keane scores like every time he's on the pitch. He's an absolute freak of nature, and I still have no idea why they don't just play him up front. Like they should just he should have it in his contract. Like 60th minute, he comes on every game, just goes up front, every game.
Beto's back on it last couple of games.
Yeah.
Like Brozier was taking that place and it was done, and then Beto gets a couple of goals.
Yeah, I think. It's not the best finish and it's not great goalkeeping. So I don't want to.
No, Leno was bad. Leno is looking old. He was looking like it's been a long season for me. Anthony Robinson isn't in the squad. Have we heard any more about that?
I don't know, because I thought he was back. I'm so fuming because I put him in a so rare team and it was absolutely terrible that he wasn't there. I mean, it didn't really help that Leno conceded 3, but
so he missed. He missed the last international break for USA. He missed because he said he had tendonitis in his knees, and so he said he needed a fair bit of rest on them. So therefore, I'm like, is it something that's just an ongoing issue he's managing? Is he also thinking, hey, I don't want this to blow up because I want a summer move, a lot of money. Cess is obviously back in and around the team. Harry Wilson's now back, so they don't necessarily have to play Cess at right wing. But obviously that means he's left back, and next game, Sessegnon, that means is up against Bumo. Now, that does sound bad, but I can remember for us, Cess, do you remember the game he had against Mo Salah?
Yeah,
like
vaguely.
When his job is just simply, that's what you need to do, he can be really good at it. Like he did do a number twice, I think, on Mo Salah. So I don't necessarily think it's like a slam dunk if Anthony Robinson's out that Bumo's the best player in the world, but Bumo's definitely an option. Should we do Brentford then?
Yep, we can move on to Brentford. Not so many big chances here, but obviously Schade gets score sheet early, nice header. and then
Those
kicked
corners. I
away.
mean, what on earth's he doing with these things? So the first one is it looks like a pen to me, but they claimed the ball wasn't in play, but I'm pretty sure it was. And then he blew the whistle after it happened, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't really get it. Um, but Sharda, for those that watched the Patreon thing that he did last week, is he's really hungry. The person who wants to get on the near post is the person who wants to score the goals. Like it's a really good header.
yeah. We see that from Bentancur. Out of anyone that we don't normally from a corner when we see a player that
Hungry
wants the
wants it.
ball and we don't expect him to score, it's Bentancur. So yeah,
It's him.
similar vibes.
Similar vibes, but really good finish. Really good finish. There were opportunities where Wissa to Bumo to Wissa, all sorts of stuff. They didn't happen.
Yeah,
They didn't happen. So therefore is you only get so many points for it. Sadness.
yeah,
Wissa we're getting 1 point is pretty sad.
yeah. Especially as he half an XG for Wissa. Yeah,
No, remember, is it?
it's fine. It's fine. I don't have any issues. I mean, you just expect more because it's Ipswich. I think.
Yeah.
I just feel let down by the fixture more than anything.
Yeah, he had five. If you said before the game he's going to have 5 shots and a half next year, I probably would have taken that.
Yeah.
But and
Well, yeah. I mean, at the same time, I would hope that either him or, well, probably not Boomer less so, but I'd hope in this situation he would get up to sort of 2 or 3 big chances and get closer to
Yeah.
one in a game like this. But like Brentford barely got to one themselves. So.
and I do think that's a little bit, and that's the bit where we've got to be a bit mindful. Is the Southampton so both West Ham in 38 and Arsenal in 38 have got Southampton and Ipswich. Like Ipswich at home and Southampton, like they're being a bit plucky. They're definitely showing some fight, and it'll be their final game in the Premier League. That they do want to show it. That could work out well because that might mean the more that they try to make it a two-way battle, then teams can take them apart. But it's a hard read.
Yeah.
I guess we haven't got to think about it too much with Ipswich because we've got Leicester next week.
Yeah.
Brentford, you hold them, and then what's the last? Wolves, Brighton. Wolves have got, haven't they? Do you
Yes.
do Wolves, Brighton?
Yeah, we can do Wolves Brighton.
Congratulations to Danny Welbeck getting 10 goals for the first time in his career. It's mad, isn't it?
I can't believe that. Is it really the first time?
First time he's got 10 goals.
So he's looking old man now as well.
He was upset, obviously, when he didn't get his first goal. Because the first one was ruled out. You could see he was upset. I could see like he really wanted that 10 goal. But he gets it. Obviously, Cunha puts on a good chance for Geddes early on. I don't understand. I don't get why Cunha didn't get sent off. Can't fathom it. Like he loses the ball, he tries to take the man out. He doesn't try to win the ball. Like he literally is looking at the man whilst kicking him.
Yeah.
There's no play of the ball. There's no play of the ball, which means you can send the man off. You should send the man off.
Yeah, there's a few decisions I feel like this week have been a bit nonsensical, and one decision in particular that I feel like was off the back of yesterday, or was it yesterday? It must have been yesterday or last week.
We also had the Collins yesterday, and then like when he was quite clearly again pulled and didn't get the penalty that should have been for Bimo.
Yeah, I mean, well, if we want to go back through games, I mean, apparently you can just push people over in the box now, and it doesn't matter if you like Southampton, just push them over. Fine.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like as much as Haaland only got 0.05 xg, they were just pushing people over and repeatedly pushing Kev over, and I was like, well, at least I don't mind that. Like, Haaland's not that owned. You get a cap, I'll have an assist. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Um, there could easily have been that, but yeah, Cunha should have gone.
Yeah.
I do wonder, does he just move on from Cunha now for the last 2 games?
Because
He's
his
20%.
mind's not going to be there. He's not going to be there next
Yeah.
season. It's just like,
He's dubbed him on 58 minutes. He's
cares?
got Bellegarde. He's got Bellegarde. He's got Larson. He's got Guedes. He's got Manetzi. He's got 4 guys. The fans hate him.
Yeah.
Does he just take it? Well, he didn't get sent off, but maybe I just go, I'm not bothering.
Yeah. I mean, from an FPL perspective, I don't think either of these teams are really worth considering.
No, probably not. Albeit Brighton and Brentford are very much in the battle for 8th place, and 8th place is Europe. So they are going to push. Like, what we do have now is
Brighton have got Liverpool next week, and then Spurs. I mean, Spurs could be like
Spurs after Europa.
Yeah, Spurs after. Yeah. Oh, we had that today, didn't we? Look at that.
I mean, maybe. I mean, imagine that goes to extra time. Then you are looking at more than anything in 38 who plays Man United and who plays Tottenham.
Yeah, which is Brighton and Villa. Oh my God, Villa have got Spurs before Europa and then United after.
You've got to get. This is what I'm saying. Like, I can't muck about and not get Ollie Watkins. I've just got to get Ollie Watkins.
You just have to get Ollie Watkins.
If I want to do something else, I'm gonna have to do it for a hit. But I've got to get Ollie Watkins.
No, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, that's true. Let's look at what you can do after a Europa game. I can see why Eze was laughing after he scored. Now he was just picturing this graph.
Oh my God. I mean, Eze scores. I laugh at the fact that he scores, obviously, literally less than 2 minutes between his goals.
Yeah.
One right on half time, come straight out, I'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly the same, identical goal. It takes me back to the discussion we were having last week when we were watching the Bodo game, and we were watching us defend in the last 5-10 minutes, and you looked at the screen and you went, look, there's a back four there. I can see a really well organised back four. Why do we not do this in the league? And then you look at the breaks that happen between that create the space for Munoz and for Sarr. And there's obviously chances all around this as well. But every time our back four was like in this weird square. Like we're taking this box midfield and putting it in our defence for some weird reason.
A box back four. We need to go speak to...
And just created a box back four. It's just completely not... People just run past it. Like, oh, I'll just run past that. Thanks very much. And you're right. You're right. Like Mateta should have had like points galore in the first half. Sarr should have had a couple of chances in the first half. Eze just, I mean, he scored 2 goals from a combined yards of about 15 yards from the penalty spot, basically.
Sarr back to back could have got comfortable double digits, and yet just points dodges for fun. But yeah.
So I think I'm looking at this more as like this is a target Tottenham review rather than which we've been really saying for a few weeks. Rather than a Pick Palace review. Yeah,
I think the fact is though, Eze's on it. I mean, he looked. I felt interested listening to Walsh from FPL all season on Eze, and he's been really down on Eze for the majority of the season in the fact that it was basically saying he wanted to go, he then sulked because he didn't go. He then clearly, when he was playing, looked like he couldn't be arsed playing. I don't think it's a big coincidence that the last 10, 12 games of the season,
putting himself in
he's
the
on
window.
it. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think he knows what happened with Elise last season. I think he's absolutely trying everything possible to put himself in that window. I fully expect that he will be putting his hand up in summer, wanting to get the move.
I mean, he needs it. Close. I mean, for him personally as well, I think he needs it. I mean, like he's 26, so he's going to be 27 in June. This is like peak for him.
It's peak. This
is like if I don't go now. Like obviously, Elise was a few years younger, but if he doesn't go now, like they're going to be looking to try and pick him up when he's 28, 29, and then you're just not as attractive really as a sort of dynamic ball playing midfielder. I mean, your exceptions, I guess, are your Kevin De Bruyne's and whatever, but like he's not the same player. So he's, and Palace fans will hate us saying this. They probably know it's coming anyway, but he needs to sort of almost push for that and get himself in the window. I mean, he's contracted until the end of 2020, until the end of the season at 2027. So Palace should be able to command a pretty decent fee for him. Like you've got 2 years on his contract. You've got to clear that.
He's got everything to play. Anyway, he's got all the ability in the world, to do it. I mean, we've been linked to him many times, but it's a big step down to come to Tottenham now for him. I think
he's also an Arsenal fan, isn't he?
I think someone like Villa would be a fantastic fit for him.
He's also an Arsenal fan, so I don't think.
Is he? I don't think he is.
Is he not?
No, I think that's Zaha.
Why do I think that?
I think you're thinking of Zaha. We were linked to many, many times. Zaha was. So I don't think so. The QPR boy, wasn't he? Man City, obviously the links came and went. Not sure if that link will come back again.
Eze was 13 when Arsenal let him go. I don't know whether that means anything, but
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's a surprise. I think his personal motivation has clearly been very, very high.
Yeah.
He's the player that we kind of naturally assumed would be the guy that we want every single week in our team. Like there was a time when it was like everyone should have him, and over the last 4 or 5 weeks, anybody that has had him's done incredibly well. Like nobody's had him's had bad times. He's smashed it.
Did you say this though? Did you say this was the difference? So if you went like those that went SAR with money as well, those that went SAR primarily went like Foden, KDB in wildcard, whereas those that didn't have almost went like Bowen, Eze.
Yeah,
and then that was kind of the decision making, and obviously this way round has obviously reaped the rewards. Bowen in the last 3 weeks has been ridiculous as well. So
yeah.
Okay, can we stop talking about Spurs now?
We're not even talking about Spurs. Just target him. Keep targeting him. But it plays the big drop off. As soon as you play, I mean, you play Kinski. I mean, Vicario's not been great, but Kinski's a child. But the huge drop off. There's 2 huge drop offs. One, Ben Davies is just a massive drop off compared to anybody else that can play with it, and it just all falls apart. And then it's the attitude. It's the attitude of like, this is just get through it. That doesn't cut it in the Premier League.
We're basically throwing games without actually throwing games.
I've never seen anything like it. I've never, ever to see that we've got 2 teams basically doing it, and I've never seen it even with one team. It just makes me really uneasy. I don't like it at all.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, obviously we're seeing it with our eyes.
We understand it now, but we've been doing it for free. We've been doing it for 3 months. It's not been like 1 week.
Yeah, I think there's obviously the environment that's happening at the moment with just the volume of games that players are having to play, and this is a result not of what the clubs are having to do, but they're because of the amount of games that players now have to play in a season. That it's just astronomical, particularly those that are competing in like European games. Specifically, these guys. In fact, the squads have to be much deeper, which means that you have to afford more time to those in your squad so that you maintain some sort of squad harmony and like morale within the squad so that everyone gets minutes. Because wasn't it in like 1920 when was it 1819? When did Liverpool win the league the first time? They just rolled out the same 11 every week.
I mean, Forest have basically tried to do that this season to an extent.
That's it, because they haven't had the games. They haven't had to deal with the stuff that goes with it, with the European stuff.
Yeah.
I know Liverpool would have dealt with that at the time, but it doesn't happen now because there's more games. And like even with the new European competitions, there's just more games. So the deeper you go in that, the harder it is. I get that, and I empathise with Ange a bit on that. But it does now mean that you'll get teams that are going to appear like they're throwing games. Now, it nobody probably cares because, one, United and Spurs are sitting 15th and 16th or 16th and 17th in the league right now, and all the other 3 teams are done. Now, if there was any, it's difficult because we've done it for so long. We can't pinpoint. You can't also pinpoint a specific game. Wasn't like West Ham trying to do, like they tried to sue someone for not playing a full strength team against Sheffield United or something like that. So, but because we've done it for like 8 games
Because of
8 games in a row.
relegation, because the relegation was so sewn up, but it's created this weird environment where this happens.
Well, additionally, you can't pinpoint the game in which we should be penalised for because we've done it for so long, so we've impacted so many teams.
Nice.
It's like, well, everyone's had a chance. We're just giving away points to everyone.
We're fair. We're fair.
We literally, in the last 3 months, we've beaten Southampton in the league. That's it.
I mean, Ange rolled himself in the pressers like he just don't care. Whereas, let's do Man United. Let's just skip Man United, West Ham. I'll do the other way around. Like, Amarim's almost using this as an opportunity to be like, this is embarrassing. This is what we've got problems everywhere. We can make it like he's trying to use it for shop window. He's trying to use it to make changes in the back room and the whole environment and stuff. So I quite almost applaud that. Like I'll make 6 changes, but it's the dinner lady's fault. Like that they don't provide good enough food, and that's why we need to just change the whole club. Like it's. I don't know. I think at least from his point of view, he doesn't want to see this. But ultimately, they're going to give away some stupid chances. Like the Souček one is... Both the Souček and Bowen goals are balls across the floor, across the 6-yard box, that travel quite a long way. Like 12, 15 yards along the ground to get to their target that then go in the goal. Yeah. You can't do that.
Yeah, I think the Souček one's probably a bit more difficult to handle because it's kind of one of those corridor of uncertainty type balls into the box, which is fine. The Bowen one is a cutback and they're completely stretched. So, there's always going to be gaps there, but that's what happens after a Thursday night Europa, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it just can happen, but and you can see West Ham obviously just switch off at that point, and United have chances, but that's it.
I mean, United have 2 XG. At least it feels like they're trying. I don't feel like I think everyone's lumping Man United in with Tottenham, and I'm like, I don't think you can really lump them in. Like, we are a different kettle of fish.
Yeah,
we are literally horrific. Like, I don't think there's like the manager just doesn't care. This manager at least wants results even during this period, and it's just saying really the squad's not good enough to handle these multiple competitions. Yeah, you still have to target Man United when you can.
Yep.
Friday's interesting because I think Friday is a very much dress rehearsal, isn't it? It's like 5 days before a European final. I do have a little bit more feeling that Man United will turn up than I do have a feeling that Tottenham will turn up. I just don't see us turning up at all. But I think if I was a Man United fan, I think we'll try and turn up.
4 to go.
4 to go. West Ham, you can still buy Bowen. I think.
Yeah, you probably can. You've frozen, mate. Do you want to just check your camera off and chuck it back on again?
Oh. Off and on. I'm trying to go off and on.
Is that a me thing or is that a you thing?
Don't know. Look angry though, don't I?
Does that switch back?
I think so.
Oh, okay, cool. It was a me thing. For some reason, I must have pressed the button.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll clip that or something. Carry on.
But yeah, I think Bowen's fine. I mean, his goal is his only shot of the entire game.
We take it. Yeah. Bowen owners, we take it.
But that's continually been the case for the last 6-7 weeks, and he's still scoring points.
Yeah.
He's continually having like 1 shot a game because West Ham don't really do very much in attack.
But he's also, I mean, if you did notice, he's also right there where Souček scores. He's like the guy in the centre that it goes past.
But Souček continually wants to get the ball more than him. Like Souček has a shitload more shots than Bowen does on a regular basis. Like Souček is like his old school. I'm the big battering man that gets in. The difference is when Bowen does get his shot, you just expect him to score, which is enough.
Unlike Højlund, 6 shots today. over 1.3 XG
And
himself.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka continues to be the best defender in the league.
Areola has the game of his life as well, combined.
He has an incredible last 20 minutes.
Yeah, ridiculously good.
Incredible. All right, one more done.
Sorry?
One more done. So Bowen, that's it. If you're buying one, that's it. Don't make defensive transfers as good as Wan-Bissaka is.
Cool. Bournemouth Villa. Just a weird graph, right? It's just a weird, like nothing happened in the game. And this is, and just we were talking about, oh, we haven't covered the Newcastle Chelsea game yet, but I want to talk about this, obviously, because the Mings Alex Scott thing, right? So I think so we'll talk about it when we talk about Newcastle Chelsea, but I think Jackson gets sent off today because Mings should have got sent off yesterday.
I absolutely think that there's an impact of that.
I think there's a lessons learned come out of that, and they've gone, mate, look, that should be a red card, and today's happened, and he's gone, well, yesterday we said that should have been a red card, so I probably should give a red card for this.
I think that's a very good take. I think that there's
no
way PG are saying, oh, we just let people keep elbowing.
Yeah.
Because I think Mings look to take his face off and hurt him and no, but it's the age-old game in this is if you use a pointy piece of your arm to try and gain an advantage and it happens to hit someone in the face, then that is violent conduct.
Well, there's a very different, I mean, like, we can all stand it, right? There's very different between going like that, but you could just have your arm out, right? You could just have your arm out. That would do the same thing, would it not? Like, you always get told as a kid as well when you're playing, like, get your arms out wide. You don't get your elbows up like that necessarily, unless you're going out for a header type thing sometimes. But it's just like...
We have a strange lenience on things like elbows and stuff, but when someone means to tackle someone and they accidentally fuck it up and go through someone's shins, we're like, well, that's bad, so send him off. Like, you mistime something of what you're looking to do. Like, but when someone does that, we're always like, did he mean it? Like, it's almost like it has to be that he wanted to kill him. That means he should send him off. Sometimes you just muck up.
Yeah.
And if you put yourself in the position to get sent off, you can't complain if you do. Like, and the fact is, he swung his arm and he destroyed his face.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you go, oh, he's actually hurt him and he swung an elbow, those two things together, I think the rules in the FA say something like, if you endanger
the safety of
health of the safety of the opponent,
it's endangering the safety of the opponent. Yeah,
he couldn't have done that more. It just genuinely
they literally word it that way for that reason, I guess. Yeah. And I think also people have got to remember it's not 1995 anymore. You can't just do that sort of shit.
You can't do that. Can't do that. He swung his elbow. Should have got sent off.
Yeah. The reason you can see a line where Watkins is because obviously there was a significant amount of injury time played in this game, like the first 6 minutes in the first half.
Yeah.
And there was obviously chances that accumulated. Yeah. Yes. And there are chances that are all accumulated in injury time that kind of tot up to make this look like one ridiculous chance. But I think there were 3 chances in there for Villa in injury time. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear for that. It's probably a pretty similar story for Bournemouth, but I didn't really bother with that one because they didn't score.
From Bournemouth's perspective, this gave me the right ick on Bournemouth. Watching this, I was like, oh, I don't know about Bournemouth. I don't know about Bournemouth.
You know what we get to say in game week 38?
Play Leicester.
Yeah.
They're at home to Leicester.
We just get to say it's Leicester, mate.
It's Leicester, mate. But, hey, Forest this week were saying it's Leicester, mate.
Well, Chris Wood scored. I mean, scored more points than Boomer.
He did. He did score. Hate him. But it's with Forest, it's a little bit easier to work out who's going to do it. With Bournemouth, I'm still not sure. Like Cliver comes on at half time, and you're like, oh God, who is it? Semenyo, maybe. Like he always gets his shot volume. Maybe it's him, but he also loves getting booked. Evan Nilsson didn't really do much in this.
Who's on pens? Is it Evan Nilsson or Clivert on pens? It's definitely Clivert on pens.
It's Cliver if he's on the pitch, but if he's not on
Yeah,
the pitch, it's Evan
it's
Nilsson.
Evan Nilsson.
So when Cliver didn't start, I was like, well, that's good for Evan Nilsson.
Yeah.
Just tough. I think that Man City game is really big for whether we want to go on Bournemouth in 38, because if they're comfortably no Europe, I'm not sure I will go there. If they're challenging for Europe, yeah, all over it.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, we've already spoken about Villa, haven't we? To be honest, they're playing both Europa League finalists in the next two games. Feels like a big, like if you've got Rodgers, keep Rodgers. If you haven't got Watkins,
perfect Emery in it.
Get Watkins.
Perfect Emery. Emery is won cups, had brilliant cup runs his entire life. This is cup runs. He is basically telling them cup final, cup final, cup final. Do this. They're grinding out wins. They ground it out again.
Yeah, that's such a good way of thinking about it.
It made the defense much better. He's made like the defense. They've had more cleans in the last few weeks than they've had in the last 3 years, and that's the same manager. But somehow in the last few weeks, suddenly when they would just let things in, they're not letting things in. Emi Martinez is exactly that man, isn't he? It's big game Emi Martinez every single game this week. They've become incredibly tough to beat. They're working hard. And they've got Tottenham next. So get him in. Play him.
Get him in, play him, maybe cap him. Watkins.
Yeah, maybe like if you're thinking about it, maybe if you were really, but you could captain Rodgers. But I don't think there's going to be a huge difference in ownership between Rodgers and, because Rodgers was like 40% owned this week, and a lot of people, I had him on my bench. Do you have him on your bench?
Yep.
So he's going to be like 80% owned. Rodgers will be higher owned than Watkins. So it's not even like you can go, well, I'll captain Rodgers because that's like the differential play. It's not really a bigger differential play than Watkins. Asensio is probably the differential play. If you really wanted to lean into it, is that you get Asensio in midfield and cap him instead.
What you trying to sort of lean into pens as well, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, it lasted two, and he only had one shot in this game. It's punt time, but if you needed to, if you say for example you already have Watkins, well you have got Watkins and Rodgers in place.
I do.
Say for example, like for example you wanted to say, well I've punted on Alanga versus Leicester, now I want to punt again. You could literally punt again on Asensio versus Tottenham, and then move it to a Bournemouth guy in 38.
Yep, could do.
All good.
All good.
Should we do Forest, Leicester?
Can do.
2-2. What do you think about the owner on the pitch at the end of the game?
I saw it. I think obviously people are trying to. I mean, he looks pissed off, obviously, but people are then trying to basically interpret that how they want to, right? So they interpret it. He might have been. He could have been pissed off that they didn't beat Leicester. He could have been pissed off that they conceded a last-minute goal. He could have been pissed off that they're probably not going to make Champions League. Like, and Nuno came out and said something about there's a disagreement between him and something in the medical staff, didn't he?
Yeah,
which is weird because that's got me like in the old QPR feels. You remember with that we're like trying to demand who to bring on and all this sort of stuff. Managing as the chairman, that feels weird.
Well, obviously he sits in the crowd all the time, and he is around. And my understanding of it is that it was in relation to Taiwo. So they made a sub, then they had to play one man less because he was injured. and the crowd were fuming. He was fuming. Everyone was fuming. They messed up. I think Nuno tried to almost blame his coaches. Like someone said, "Oh no, he's fine," and he wasn't fine. So yeah, I think it was due to an error by the medical staff. I think it'll be more likely the medical staff are facing the sack in the morning than Mr. Nuno.
Yeah.
But in general, it's because they played Leicester and they drew 2-2, and they expected to win that game, and they need to win that game. And now you look at it and you're like, oh, that's really tough because you can't like Villa are not missing, and they've now got the two teams. So Villa are almost the chances of overtaking Villa now when they're 1 point behind them is really difficult. Chelsea have got Man United, so they get a free win probably on Friday night as well. And so you're like, oh, I'm now stuck in seventh. And seventh might be conference.
If City win the FA
If Palace
Cup.
win.
Oh, if
So
Palace
if Palace win FA Cup, there's only one Europa place. And then I think if Chelsea are in the Champions League and then they win the conference, I don't think we get another Europa place. I think the only way we get another Europa place is if Chelsea were in the conference place already and then they win the conference. I think that's how it somehow works. So as it stands, Forest are probably now in the conference place. Now, if you're the owner, that's like 60, 70 million quid.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
a lot of
understand
money.
him being a bit pissed. But he was just a bit pissed, wasn't he? He comes on the pitch all the time. Like, this is the same guy that, like, takes them off to Dubai all the time, does all this. Like, he's a hands-on guy. He's a
Yeah.
maniac. Like you don't get to have a hands-on owner and then get to be like, oh, my God, I've got a hands-on owner.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he is.
Agreed. We talked to so we said about Chris Wood. Chris Wood had 5 shots today.
Yeah. He had the shots.
he had everything.
He had the shots.
He had the shots, he had the big chances.
He kind of makes the Wissa pick rather than Wood look a bit silly. I never considered Wood over Wissa. But this is like I still
think he's fine. I still think he's fine and I still think for the next 2 games I still think Wissa's better.
But they want it. They've got to do everything possible now against that West Ham, and then obviously Chelsea. The last game against Chelsea could still be huge. But first and foremost, they need to get the points against West Ham.
So, just looking back again, let's have a quick look again at this league table. So, Chelsea are currently in 5th, which is Champions League. Obviously, they don't want to lose out on that.
No.
When is the Conference League final? Is it after game week 38?
After game week 38. Yeah, it's weird.
It's the midweek after. It's like 3 days after.
Yeah.
So but they might still need to, yeah, because they're probably going to pretty much. Well, they won't really rotate for. They're not going to rotate for. Forest.
Chelsea can't rotate now,
and they're probably going to have to go then as strong as possible again. Obviously, because Betis aren't. Djurgården, whoever they played in the Conference League.
Yeah.
Leisure Warsaw.
Villa are definitely winning next week. Man City, regardless, even if they lost, would be potentially at worst 1 point behind Chelsea. So in a kind of worst case situation, I think you end up with like 1 point between Newcastle, Man City, Chelsea, Villa. But I think the likelihood is if Newcastle just get the win next week, then they're pretty much guaranteed. Because their goal difference is so good. That's potentially the same. No, not quite the same with Man City. Because they've only got 2 point gap on Chelsea and Villa. That extra point that Newcastle have got is big. I mean, if Man City just scored on this weekend, I think that actually bizarrely is then like much worse for people that own De Bruyne and potentially even Haaland.
Yeah.
I think you probably now the fact that they didn't
Yay, we
score
got the
means you
minutes.
get
We didn't get the points, but we got the minutes.
that's the moral win.
The minutes game, so we keep getting told.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Chelsea. Newcastle, Chelsea.
I really, really, really like Eddie Howe. I really like him. Like I know I think a lot of people give him a lot of stick about things, but I think as a match-up manager, I always think like he'd be brilliant as the England manager because I think as a match-up manager, if you give him a week between games, he's just so good at it to work out what am I going to do here to take this team down, and that he decides to play three at the back, play wing backs, play change of formation, and
yeah, because I look at the lineups coming straight out, and I'm like, Gordon and Barnes
and Murphy.
Like, where are these guys all playing?
But he worked out different system. This is how we're going to do it. Let's take him down. I've seen it. He does it so often. In that season when they had really good season, he did that where they had no Europe, so he had time to work it out. If you give him time, he's very good at motivating players. He's very good at working out weaknesses. He does it. He's done it. He's done jobs on a number of teams, and they go up there to St James's Park, and they're blown away in the first 30 minutes because he's solved the puzzle. What I did think was bizarrely, once the man got sent off, it was like, oh, I haven't planned for this. I just planned for this is how we're going to take him down. And suddenly we've got an extra man. And if you've got three at the back and that person has the striker sent off, because everyone will just says, oh, it's 10 men. It's such a huge difference what that man is that gets sent off. If it's your striker, well, it doesn't change your defence at all.
No,
it doesn't change. Like you just become tighter. You can't press as good. Well, that doesn't help when the person's playing five at the back. Like he's got three centre backs, and suddenly it was like, I don't know what to do with these friendly centre backs. We're not actually gaining an advantage here on Chelsea because the extra man is a centre back that we've got.
Yeah.
So it was then really confusing, and they were like, oh, I don't. This isn't really working. And you could see Eddie Howe was like trying to work it out. Like, this isn't working. We've got an extra man, but we're not beating them because my plan is this is how we take them down 11 v 11. And so he was like, well, what I'll do is I'll bring Miley on. I'll take off a centre back. And then it was like, so then, but Chelsea then were like, Cucurella, who's clever, and Palmer, who's clever, went, we'll just put ourselves on Jacob Murphy because he's now playing right back.
Yeah.
And suddenly I thought second half, I thought Chelsea were the better team for the majority of it because Eddie kept mucking around with his plan and they kept going, well, this is just making it worse.
I mean, I mean, I don't think the Guimaraes goal happens if that Cucurella strike goes in either. I think that Pope save is so big. So big.
So big. But they just kept doing it. And then they brought Kraft on in the end and then, but even that, like, this is where Howe can't get out of his own head. Like, he's done all the good stuff, but it's like, what I'm going to do is, like, I had Murphy playing right wing back. I've moved him back to right back. Now, the obvious thing, Kraft's better on the left-hand side. You take Murphy off, you put Kraft on, and you switch Livramento back to right back. That's what I'd have done immediately. Nah, not bothered with that, mate. I'll move more parts than that because I'll stick Murphy back up and I'll move Barnes to left wing from right wing. So I'll move 7 people when I could just move 1.
It did feel a little bit complicated.
It's so okay. He just literally was like just spinning. What was it you sent me earlier about those guys that were passing the money around?
Oh God, yeah.
It was that non-league team that
so
basically knew they'd lost the team.
Yeah, a non-league team, basically, they'd won the league. They were 3-0 up in the game. And from the start of the second half, one of the guys took a coin on the pitch. And basically the job was to pass it around all of the players while the game was going on. And then the person who had it at the end of the game bought the drinks at the end of the game.
That's basically what Eddie Howe was doing against Chelsea in the second half. Just keep moving them. So stupid.
If anyone hasn't seen that video, I've shared it. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. It's so good.
It was bizarre. So well played, Eddie Howe, but then fucking hell. Um, Palmer, again, what I saw of Palmer was all right. There was a moment towards the end where it looked like he played exactly the right ball. It's like, nah, no one's there, no one's doing anything.
Yeah, and then
Um,
again, go back to the Cucurella shot as well. He would have had the assist for
yeah,
that as well.
yeah. We've said it all season. They've done it so often. They take Jackson off, but they've already taken Madueke off, and you're like, oh, the two guys that can stretch the teams, we're not going to play those anymore. And you're like, oh, guess what happens? We collapse on ourselves and we don't score any goals. So you'd assume Neto goes false nine, Palmer goes in behind,
Yeah,
Sancho left,
Madueke right,
Madueke right. That's what we assume
which
for
I
the next
think
few
is
games.
fine.
Neto, I don't know if you saw it at half time, but had a bit of a go at Palmer. I
I
quite like
did,
that.
I did not see it.
I quite like that. So again, if you're really punting, Neto next week. You wouldn't. It's Palmer.
But he still hasn't scored an open play goal for
A lot of
3
money.
months.
It's a lot of
That's a lot
money.
of money. Yeah.
It's a lot of money. But Saar to Neto, if you had the free transfer, you could mess with it.
Maybe
Is this it? Do
this
we
is it,
do we
mate.
have we put Liverpool Arsenal last?
Last,
Wow.
last, getting closer. They're getting closer to. I'm so annoyed that City obviously didn't score because they would be. I mean, they'd still be third on goal difference, but they would be there.
So you sold Mo Salah,
I did.
and if you hadn't watched this game and you still didn't know the score of this game, and I said there was 4.9 XG between the two teams in this game, how would you feel about the fact that you'd sold him?
I would be shitting myself. Like if this was match of the day chat, like if there was match of the day challenge. If we did match of the day challenge, right, and you just got the total XG from the game before you saw the game, and you went basically 5 XG in this game, I'd be like, oh no 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 no, surely not, no, please no. I mean the Diaz 0.99 really helps, but yeah.
And how many shots did he have?
Did he have a
None.
shot?
No shots.
I don't recall it. I don't
Not a
recall it.
single shot. No
So
shots.
yeah.
There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There were 10 Liverpool players in the match that had a shot. And Mo Salah was not one of those players. That's mad.
That is pretty incredible. I think 3 of them came off the bench as well.
Yeah, even Trent had more XG than Mo.
Do we love the irony though? Do we love? I mean, I'm not here condoning booing Trent or whatever, which I thought was a little bit funny as well. But then for him to be the guy that played Marino onside is just like it's poetic almost.
Do you think he just doesn't play him? No?
Maybe he doesn't.
I think maybe he doesn't play him.
He
I
doesn't
think
need. To, he doesn't need to. So I think it's fine to bring him on in this game, but I think for the rest of the season, I think he doesn't need to make. He doesn't need to stress tensions between him and the fans for any reason whatsoever. Like obviously he's on
No.
cloud nine with the title and stuff like this. He's not like the fans love him. Of course they do. But just playing Trent and be like, oh, for God's sake, why is he putting Trent on? Like you just don't need that. Just leave him. Just leave him
No.
to sit on the bench for now. Let him have his
I'm
walk around Anfield at the
I'm
end of the
not
season. He does.
100% sure though. You want to trust Bradley against the wingers of Brighton on the left-hand side. Matoma was back. I thought he was. Someone said he'd broken his leg or something. I saw last week, but he was on the bench and came on. And then you've obviously got probably Eze towards that side in 38. I don't feel like Bradley feels like the best player on it. I've got Bradley, and I'm not sure he's the best. Like maybe Kwanzaa plays a little bit.
He's never
Maybe,
really trusted Kwanzaa though. Not even close. Like he, I don't think he
I guess
can trust
he's got
Kwanzaa.
to play Bradley, hasn't he? He's got to play Bradley because he's just got to try and see whether this boy can.
Whether he's next season's right back, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Mo Salah doesn't get pens, then he looks like he's over the hill and old.
Oh, we're not getting that conversation again.
Maybe he's finished.
Didn't we do that at the start of last season?
Season before. We said he was too old. I think we said he was old 2 years ago. Yeah, I think so.
Amazing.
We're definitely gonna have to get. We definitely have to get.
We can roll it out again.
Yeah, but because you know what's going to happen. What price is it going to be next season? What price was Haaland this season? 14?
Yeah, 14.5. Was he 14? 15, wasn't he?
15?
Haaland was 15.
15?
Haaland was
going to be 15.
Well, he should be.
He will be. He will be. Sovereigns is in charge, mate. He'll make him 15.
We will
I think
see.
he has to. It's going to be 14 or 15 million quid.
Yeah, I think 14. Yeah, I think 14, 14.5, something like that. But again, you know what FPL are like. Right? They can't price everyone. They can't price everyone out of the game because they want people to pick the players that do well. They want people to be able to have Haaland and Salah. So
maybe they might make Haaland back to 12.
Maybe they make Haaland back to 12. That's probably more interesting.
They should let us do the prices. We'll be fun with it.
It's weird. My chat seems to have frozen. I don't know whether anyone said anything in the last last.
Oh yeah,
minutes.
they're chatting about you. They're all talking
My
about
chat
you.
completely froze, so I'm just refreshing my chat.
And he might have just said Salah's been poor all season. Don't understand how he's got any points.
So the last comment I had was that Bournemouth were with Andy Martin on Bournemouth Beach. So that was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But how Mateta's 13 points, Andy, is the only question I have for you.
Yeah, where is my Mateta 13 points? Luis. So Diaz, Gakpo, Salah is now looks like the front three again, which puts Diaz at 9, Gakpo at the left. Last game of the season, home to Palace. Could you punt on Diaz? Is it worth it compared to?
There's better fixtures.
There's better fixtures, isn't there? But like you're still thinking target Man United, target Tottenham, or you've got Bournemouth guys and you've got Bowen.
Yeah.
Or you got Arsenal.
I mean, Arsenal. I mean, the conversations here. I mean, they did okay. Obviously, they were obviously a bit shell shocked. They were with them for the game anyway, up until the point they scored, and then obviously do well. A couple of good goals. I mean, the Marino one's a decent enough finish, but the save from Alisson is class.
Yeah.
But then just a good tidy finish from Marino.
Bjarke, not only is he winning this season, but he's already planning for next season because Salah has AFCON next season too.
This is true. I was aware of this.
I bloody love an AFCON season.
I was aware of. I hadn't brought it up, but yes, I was aware.
You need things like AFCON just to whittle out the casuals a little bit, and you know what I mean, the zombies and stuff, give them no chance.
I feel sorry for Mateta owners because I love being right. Yes, you do, Andy. Mate, we love it. We love it when you are as well. Don't worry about that. Twitter is a much better place. X is a much better place.
Yeah, Arsenal. Saka was still pretty involved, to be fair. Like, he had 4 shots. I think he made 3 chances.
Yeah. You expect it. So that's what you expect. You expect that.
Yeah.
I think he's a better pick. I think he's a better pick for the last 2 games than Palmer.
Marino, 1 game man. Second booking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Only 1 game man, so back for 38.
And obviously he'll play because he's rested.
And he'll play because he's rested.
There's your punt.
Mikel Marino.
If you want to go Saka, you can go Marino.
It's fair. And we're done.
Albeit he played in midfield, not number 9.
That's the issue.
Yeah, Trossard played number 9.
That's
But if
always
Trossard's
a slight
injured,
issue.
then he will be number 9.
Yes.
So let's just roll this context.
Why did Arteta talk repeatedly that Havertz will be back for a few games at the end of the season? He wasn't even on the bench again today. He was with the squad in Paris. I saw him on the bench, but I guess he'd go anyway, wouldn't he? But yeah, maybe Timbers, but maybe not Timber. Maybe Havertz might be back.
Maybe.
Just want to look at.
I don't know. We'll just have to keep an eye on that over the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Worry about it in 38, mate.
Worry about it in 38, exactly.
Yeah, leave these teams alone for next week. Well, yeah, I said to you earlier, I've got Kyrgios and Raya. So my initial thoughts is that play both and try and sneak a clean against Newcastle. But Newcastle need that win need a win to get themselves.
This is why I'm looking at a keeper transfer as well. So because
and would you place and what about Saliba? Would you place Saliba next week? Do you think?
So
because you've got Burn, obviously.
I wouldn't. Arsenal. Yeah, I wouldn't play Burn. Oh, well, no, I wouldn't. Yes, sorry, I would. I'd have to because I've got Burn away at Arsenal and a stooping down at home to Liverpool.
So you play Saliba.
So I'd still have to play Saliba, but I don't feel as comfortable going into that with double. I mean, it's weird because I just kind of did it. It's so stupid that I did it today when they were away at Liverpool and then it's like home to Newcastle. But then at the same time, I'm pretty sure that Newcastle's record at Arsenal's pretty good recently. I have that 4-4 in my head forever, I think. I don't think that was at Arsenal, but
check TOT forever.
Yeah, exactly. We know. Yeah, I don't
think there's many goals I celebrated more than check TOT's goal. We're so petty.
Here we are, mate. I think.
Did you quote Ange?
I did. You just can't. You just get the picture. Just get the picture out. Just raise it up. Here we are, mate. It's so annoying because it's such a great quote. It's such a great quote. It's such a great quote, and it's. I really wanted to like him I really wanted him to be like the new Poch, right? I really wanted him to be our new Poch, but no, he's not. Yeah, no. So I don't feel so comfortable. I don't really feel that comfortable going double Arsenal defence, even though it's home to Newcastle. Versus me thinking it was a good idea to go away at Liverpool. Because I don't really feel like I have much else to do. So like Vardiol, home Bournemouth, Munoz, home Wolves, say Sarr, home Wolves, Elanga away West Ham, Bumo, home Fulham, Bowen, home Forest, Haaland, Bournemouth, Wissa, Fulham, Watkins, Spurs. Like what else do I do? Like Rodgers, I've got to try and fit Rodgers in.
Yeah.
Rodgers probably goes in for Elanga, which kind of goes against what I was saying about the Kluivert thing. But like, how else do I get him in? Or I mean, or does he go in for Sarr? Because FA Cup? I'd probably just do that, actually. Because of FA Cup, I'd probably just put him in for Sarr.
Yeah.
And then
my choices really are Areola versus Raya. Areola home to Forest. Forest absolutely desperately need the points. More so than Arsenal need the points. But do Newcastle need the same as Forest? Probably. Maybe I should punt Areola. And then Bradley away at Brighton versus Kyrgios home to Newcastle.
What would you play Agbadou? Or you are?
Agbadou away at Palace.
Yeah? Palace, FA Cup?
Not a lot to play for. I'm already playing Munoz, mate.
0-0, beauty.
You play for the 0-0. Because I don't want any of the Palace people to get points. You've got to try and perfect storm it now. I literally have got to try and perfect storm it. That's my part about with Arsenal, like playing one of them. Like I'm not gaining on that, and I've got Isak.
Mm.
So maybe I do need to just
hedging's out the window now.
Force something through. Hedging's got to be out the window now, hasn't it?
I'll say it's up to you how you want to play it. You're right. Getting Watkins is probably the right move for the most points, but then, yeah, strategically how you want to play it outside of that. I mean,
it's the other stuff. Like if I'd gone full no Arsenal this week and gone Areola, then I'd be in a better position this week. So there's part of that because that's happened. I'm like, should I just push out and say, right, what do I take on this week? Well, I'll take on Arsenal defence. I take on Palace midfield. I've got to take on Bowen again.
Yeah,
I've got to take on those Forest boys.
You've got to take on Bowen, but so you've got to take on Bowen, but you also want Forest not to clean.
Souček, Maggie. It's all about Souček.
Souček. Yeah, need that helicopter celebration. What was I just checking? I was just about to check. I'm just checking dates and times and stuff like that. Friday deadline. Is there any football in the week? Is there any football in the week? There's no football in the week, is there?
Playoffs, isn't it? Playoffs and stuff.
I'm just thinking about when I am playing golf on Thursday, so I can't do a pod Thursday. Playing Royal Aberdeen.
Are you?
Yeah, got a mate at work.
Oh, yes.
Mate at work's member there, so we're having a sort of a work game, which is nice. But that'll put me out of Thursday for a pod.
Wednesday night?
It has to be late. Wednesday night, I guess. Yeah.
Probably 9 o'clock would it be? Because you're normally late Wednesday, aren't you?
Wednesday, late-ish, mainly because I have the little one that I take the little one to football. So,
by the way, there's 323 people staying here to watch the admin of when we pod next.
Perfect.
Fucking love you, people.
Just hit the like button while you're there. Just while we're just chatting away. And also, if look, 292 people now straight away. Gone. We're out.
What are they doing, admin? They forgot to stop the stream.
Yeah, there's always a link in the bottom as well. There's a link in the YouTube description about golf days. So if you're interested in a golf day, we need to get that sorted before you disappear off to Arizona. Otherwise, we'll never get it sorted. So if you are interested, then drop your name and details in there, and then we'll be in touch about that. Everyone that's already on the list, if you've forgotten, then just add yourself again. But if you're already on the list, then you'll get emails soon, I'm sure.
Lovely people.
Anything else we want to say before we do Wednesday?
2 to go. I'm saying sort of fuck off to the game week. 2 to go.
2 to go. 2 to go. Tough week. Well done if you had a good week. Hopefully you guys are heading towards your rank targets, heading towards winning your mini leagues, etc., etc. We love you. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time. Cheers, mate.